That net in the water, he wasn't having any part of it. I couldn't get him out to the net.
Yeah, I'm gonna end up losing them. Size. Let's see what we got. About 19, 20 inches. Yeah. 19 inches. All right. That I want to fish. In this case, I'm having to cross the pond that I'm in, so I'm having to paddle pretty good ways. Now, there are fish in between the area where I came from and the place that I'm going to. I do fish that every so often, and there are fish to be caught along there, but I have this certain spot that I like to fish, and that's where I'm headed. And then there are times I reach my spot where I like to fish, and I'll just cast and cast and cast, and I won't even get a nibble or a bite or a hit. I already know that sometimes I'll go out there and not catch anything. So it's just a matter of me being out there and enjoying being out there, whether I catch or not. I just keep casting and eventually something notices what I'm doing and they get on it. I'm watching an alligator over there. I gotta keep an eye on him because when I reel in a fish, he's watching me. It's about an 8-foot alligator too. Now there's a fine line between how long you want to let that fish sit in the water and how long it'll take for you to put him in that net. So what I like to do is let him wear himself out a little bit. But then sometimes I'll find myself losing fish because they'll sit there and shake, and then they're going to end up shaking that hook out of their mouth. So you just have to debate on how you want to do it right there. I like to let them wear themselves out a little bit, and then I'll put the net, because if you try to put the net too soon, they're going to run away from it, and then you're going to lose it. So, like I said, there's a fine line right there. So let them wear himself out before you bring them close, and then simply put the net underneath them and scoop them up. So how it was jumping in my hand? You want to be very careful how you hold that fish over the side of the boat, because if it decides to start shaking and moving and jumping or whatever in your hand, you can easily drop them overboard. So you make sure you have your hand hooked the proper way inside the gill or through his mouth, or make sure you have him held correctly before trying to swing him around, putting him into that ice chest, because I've lost fish that way too. There's all these little variables into successfully landing a fish. Watching. Okay, so now I have to reposition myself in order to start fishing again. Now normally an alligator would just sink and move out the region, or just stay where it's at until the disturbance is over, but this one didn't do that. More and more concerned about this alligator, because it's not going anywhere. It's actually facing me everywhere I move. So I'm becoming more and more worried about this thing. I'm in a little kayak, and that is about an 8-foot alligator. It can easily climb inside this kayak with me. And since it wasn't shying away from me and my presence, then it made me take notice. So I'm slowly working my way away from it. Another one up ahead. Full of alligators in here. Oh, there's two that I see. 3 alligators all in one spot right here. Okay, so I ended up catching my 5 filled redfish for the day. Although I did have to keep an eye on the alligator in that particular area.
just that one that seemed to get kind of upset with me being around, so had to have been a nest there. We're right in the mating season and the nesting season for them, so usually alligators don't bother people too much. They don't really want to have much to do with us, so usually whenever we come around, they just go down and go somewhere else or get away or whatever. But if they're mating, they have a nest, we're bound to them to come protect them just like any mother. So yeah, we've got to learn how to respect all of that when we're out there. So all in all, it was a pretty good day. You know, I moved away from that area and I started catching fish. I was catching fish even in that area. But you just have to be careful when we're out there with all the wildlife and stuff. I mean, the wind will, I mean, if you catch a fish, the wind will push you against the bank, and they have other creatures that are in their nesting. They have marsh hens and poodoo and minks and muskrat, nutries, and any kind of, they have hogs. You know, those things are kind of dangerous. So when you